Hello, good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Poem Praise 2. And peace and blessings be upon you this day. We are coming out of the Extraordinary African Americans. Today's Extraordinary African American is Crispus Attucks, a sailor patriot from 1723 to 1770. And it goes like this. The first to defy and the first to die. So reads a line of poetry about Crispus Attucks, who with four other men was shot to death during a fight with the British soldiers in the Massachusetts Bay Colony in 1770. This fight later became known as the Boston Massacre. Born a slave of African and Natick Indian heritage, Attucks ran away from his owner, William Brown, of Framingham, Massachusetts. When he was 27 years old, he signed on as a sailor on a departing boat and spent the next 20 years of his life working on cargo and whaling ships. While at sea, he taught himself to read and write. I'm going to repeat that again. While at sea, he taught himself to read and write. Amazing. The rough, free life of a sailor suited Attucks. He was strong, brave, and quick to take the lead in difficult situations, especially those that threatened his freedom or the freedom of others. It was quite natural for him, therefore, to side with Boston colonists when they refused to obey England's oppressive laws and restrictions. In Boston, the situation had become so tense that the British were stationing troops there to keep colonists under control. Since 1765, there have been numerous scuffles and fights between British soldiers and American patriots. On March 5th, 1770, what began as a minor scuffle became a major incident on the road to revolution. Hugh Montgomery, a British soldier who was standing guard outside the custom house, struck a young boy who had insulted him. The boy ran crying through the streets, and immediately an angry crowd, led by Attucks, appeared and began pelting Montgomery with snowballs and pieces of ice. Soon, 12 more soldiers from the British 29th Regiment appeared, armed with muskets and bayonets. When the crowd saw the soldiers, they hesitated. But Attucks charged ahead, waving a heavy stick. "Don't be afraid, knock 'em over." "They dare not fire," he cried. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Faced with the angry crowd, the soldiers panicked. They fired into the mob, killing Attucks and Samuel Gray instantly, and wounding 9 other men, 3 of whom died. Public reaction seesawed between shock and anger. Attucks' body lay in the state in Boston Faneuil Hall for 3 days. Thousands attended his funeral, and all shops in the city closed. 7 British soldiers and their commander were tried for murder, but found innocent. Wow. The Boston Massacre marked a major turning point in the events leading to the American Revolution. As John Adams later wrote, on that night, the foundations of American independence were laid. It is noteworthy that those foundations rested in part on the courage and leadership of a runaway slave named Crispus Attucks. So I certainly like to thank you for tuning in to hear about Crispus Attucks, the sailor and patriot from 1723 to 1770. I certainly want you to have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will speak to you a little later on if it's in God's will. And until then, I like to say goodbye. Peace out, y'all.